ACC PM. It's Monday evening now on the East Coast. Taylor Pack, Captain Ron, and there's Mr. 500 sitting right there with that brand spanking new Christmas tree. Just got that thing delivered, I can tell. You can tell those new ones. You really can. Coach,
No,
happy holiday.
it's
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
it's broken in. It's been up since the middle of November. It's been up since middle of November. I'm a Christmas guy, so it's been up for a while.
Okay.
Respect.
I'm sure it's going to go right back in the box the middle of January, right? I can already tell. First of all, congrats on 500. I mean, listen, that's a lot of players, a lot of coaches, a lot of sleepless nights, and a lot of support all around. I know you'll deflect the attention, but 500's 500. So congratulations on that.
Well, I appreciate it. And it really does. You do think about a lot of the trials and tribulations, but you think about the people. You can never do anything like this by yourself. And so I learned very early on that, you put a lot of great people around you and you invest in them and you invest in their futures, and a lot of great things will happen. But, honestly, I was very fortunate last night. My wife was there. One of my daughters was there. But they're the real heroes. They've been with me for the 500 wins, but just as importantly, they've been with me for the 198 losses.
Mhm.
And, it's easy to celebrate the wins and whatnot, but, them being there, the sacrifices that they've made, throughout their lives so that I can go out and do something that I absolutely love, it just means the world to me. And, they're the real heroes in this whole situation.
There she is. Shout out to Chrissy and company. They're the best. You're surrounded by all girls. With that being said, Coach, how do you feel like when you stop and you think about it, where you are now versus where you were when number one, how you evolved as a coach, where you feel you are today?
Oh, I'm totally different. And obviously the world is different. Society is different. You have to learn how to evolve as a dancer, like you see right there, but you have to evolve as a coach to go with society. And, things I was doing then as a young coach and just trying to learn and figure out my way in this business, I'm totally different now. And, and looking back on this past year, a lot of things have happened for me, a lot of blessings for me. And I've learned how to really enjoy and stop and enjoy the moment. And with these kids, every adventure, that we have, we want to enjoy it. And so I told the group last night, I've had a lot of wonderful teams, but I was very, very happy that I was able to share, something like that with them because they're such great kids and they come out and they give everything that they have for the program, and it makes it even more special.
Coach, to do it at Rutgers, I think of Rutgers, I think of Vivian Stringer and what she has meant to the women's game. I'm just kind of curious. You mentioned the people that have had an impact on you, and you went immediately to family, which I think tells me everything I need to know. But it is amazing how small the world gets, doesn't it? Sometimes
Yeah.
when you start doing that retrospective look at where you've come from and what the sport's all about.
And absolutely, Mark. There's so many people who are going to influence you, whether they're in the sports or whether in, just whatever in everyday life that have really affected me. And when you look back on it, I remember starting out and, obviously Vivian Stringer is a icon. There have been so many people that are icons that now I get to rub elbows with, I get to talk, I get to compete with. I get to, have historic games and buildings that they coached in, and it means a lot to me. I'm a student of the game. I love the game. I love the women's game and everything that has happened through it. For me to be able to get interviewed by Tamika Catchings or Rebecca Lobo, or go through a line last night and get to shake hands with Kalia Copper, someone who was a WNBA Finals MVP. It just I have to pinch myself a lot just because the profession that I chose is one that's so rewarding, and you get to go out and meet so many wonderful people. So it's been a long journey, and getting to 500, today's been a day of reflection and the wonderful things and the wonderful people that I've been able to cross paths with.
If we can just focus on last night's game, I was enjoying watching it because every time someone threw up a three, I was just hoping it was going to go in because you were inching up on that 17 mark. I thought maybe you'd get 18, which would have been awesome. I know Matilda E was on fire last night. Do you on the sideline when you're watching a game like that act like I did as a fan internally? I know you can't necessarily show it and you're in the middle of X's and O's, but are you playing that same kind of excitement game every single time a three goes up?
I play it when they shoot it in practice. I play it when they're just shooting around, because you want them to have success because they put in so much work. And like last night was just one of those games where, it was just gratification because you as their coach, their father figure, you want them to be happy. You want them to see the fruits of their labor. And I know Matilda E had been putting in a lot of work, just trying to find her rhythm within our program. Georgia played phenomenal. Liz was double teamed a lot last night. She was ready to defer so that someone else can get it. But when they're a special group and you love them to death, and you see them finally come to. Like our transfer stepped up last night, and ironically, they've been trying to find their way. And you just want to be patient with them because you really believe in them. And I think last night they shared a little group hug because all three of them played phenomenally. And
Hmm.
they shared a little group hug, almost like finally. But you just really want them to have success because you really care about them.
Kenny, it's funny. We bring up 500 and you bring up 198, which I always find interesting with coaches because coaches always seem to remember the losses sometimes because it's a great chance for a learning moment. We saw you before the Iowa game, which was a great game here in Charlotte. Great for women's basketball. You had to go down to play LSU and in that environment. And Kim, if she can stay not thrown off the court, then obviously
Yeah.
they're really good
Yeah.
too. What did you learn about your team with the two losses this year?
Well, I learned a lot. I feel like the media and the outside world really jump to conclusions. We lose to Iowa and we go down to LSU and we lose. And we didn't play great. We didn't get beat by 40, and we dropped 6 spots in the poll. And it was like, well, what did you guys expect from us? I mean, those are two hard fought games, and two great opponents, and it just kind of just showed us, hey, we're not there yet. We're not there yet, but we work hard and we're trying to find our identity. And they're doing a tremendous job. They come to practice every day and they work hard and they're trying to figure it out and understand what I want. But I don't know, and I think it really changed our mantra. We went from okay, we were number 9 and everyone expects us to be the number 1 team in the ACC. And so pretty much we're the hunted. And you drop us down to 16 or whatever it is we are now. We just changed our mentality to be the hunters now. And I think that it's really given us a different mindset. And we were coming out and we're never going to try to prove people wrong. We're still just trying to prove ourselves right. But I think it's taken a little bit of pressure off of us. But we're still a good basketball team. And what you saw last night, when we really get hot and we get going, we could be a very dangerous basketball team. And I really think we'll be in the mix for something special as the season comes to an end.
All right, so as we gear up for conference play, I know William and Mary certainly comes first. I know every game one at a time. What are the things you are working on and focusing on? You say that there's room to grow, that you feel like heading into conference play is key.
Well, I think our defense is getting better. We had to learn how to shift focus. When you have a Taylor Soul and a Kiana Trailer who are athletic kids, and they can kind of go off on their own a little bit on the defensive end and make a play happen,
Mm.
and then you replace them with 2, 3 players that are nothing like them. We have to rely. We're a much bigger team. We're longer, which is evident by I think we are second in the country in block shots. And that's just something different. And we've had to learn how to be that. So, and then we're trying to just get comfortable on the offensive end. And, Matilda Eck has to learn how to play off of Liz Kitley and Georgia Amore. And I think she's getting more and more comfortable with that. Our freshmen have started to develop and they've gotten better. They're actually a little bit better than I anticipated. So you're trying to work on your rotations to get the right rotation down. But just really understanding, where we need to be, when we need to be there, and that takes time, and it takes practices, and it takes games, and with each passing week, each passing game, I think we've gotten better. So I'm excited for what they're going to be able to do. They're understanding each other. We had 30 assists the other night on I think 35 field goals, and then last night we had 22 assists on 27 field goals. And so that means that they're sharing the basketball and they're with an understanding of where the others are going to be. And I think that's a big step in our chemistry level, and I think we're going to continue to get better there.
Kenny, you want to get away from basketball a second. 1 week from today, it's Christmas. How tough is it for coaches during this time of the year? We got, again, National Signing Day of football coming up on Wednesday. transfer portal's a deal for everybody every single day of their lives. If you're a coach, name, image, and likeness is nuts and goofy all over the place. You mentioned the support that you've had in the 500 wins, mentioning your wife and your girls and so forth. But, it's all about family at the end of the day, right? And so what's it like for the holidays for you, or really for coaches in general this time of the year?
Well, I know for me, we will not have a basketball game after November 21st. And this is the absolute latest because selfishly, I want to, shut it down, be with my family, and understand what the season is all about. Being with family and loved ones and going out and doing things, wonderful things in the community and just shutting it down for a little bit to recharge. So that's something I've been coaching 22 years, head coach 23 years. And I've never had a game past December 21st. And so I want them to go home, and it's all about family. And the basketball will be here when we get back. Lock in, we'll focus when we get here. But it's a very challenging time, because even when I do go home and I try to shut it down, I'm thinking about the previous games. I'm thinking about the upcoming games. I'm thinking about where we need to be. A lot of times you're physically in the moment and you're there, but you really mentally you're not there and you're thinking about something else. And I think the older I get, I've said this 100 times, stopping and smelling the roses. I have to be in the moment. I have to be in the moment when I'm with my family during this time. I'm sure everyone has different priorities, but for me, it's to make sure that I am there, present, not only physically but mentally, for my family. And because these are times that you will never forget. My children, they can talk about Christmases, growing up. This is a time where really the world slows down and you're able to just really understand what's important as family.
Luckily, you have a basketball family. That's for sure. Coach, at this time of year, I pray for your wallet with 3 girls. I really do.
And one's getting married. It's killing me, Taylor. It's killing me.
I
So,
know. He
and
knows. He's got daughters. He knows.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I used to joke that I thought Santa Claus made like 3 trips to my house. He would leave, he would drop presents off, come back and drop some more off, come back and drop some more off on the same night. Santa Claus is very generous in our house, in the Brooks household. So they have a strong affinity for Santa Claus around my way.
Now, Coach, I will tell you because, again, I'm speaking on behalf. I got 2 daughters, and neither one is engaged, but it's getting there. But Seth Greenberg, former Virginia Tech Hokie coach, told me that, and he's got daughters too. He said, "Pack,
Yeah.
that walk is the hardest walk of your life." And again, he was schooling me. Greenberg was Pack, listen to me now, and he gave me at least a 20-minute dissertation about the walk is the hardest thing you will ever do. So prepare yourself, because I'm already working mentally to get to that spot that whenever that day comes, I got 2 of them. So I got 2 of those walks coming at some point in time. So again, forget about the check. The walk is what we got to worry about.
Well, I tell you, Coach Greenberg texted me this morning, and he congratulated me, and I was very appreciative of that. I think I'll be okay with the walk. I'm not sure about the dance, and I think
We
I
just
think
saw
that's
your
what I'm gonna.
moves. You look good,
Well,
Coach.
no, I think I'll be okay with them. I just do the dad 2-step on that, but I don't know what song she's going to pick, but I'm sure I'm going to melt, and she's probably going to, she's supposed to put her head in my chest, and I'll probably put mine in hers and just melt and try to hold on a little bit longer. But you know what, man, it's going to be a special day. And I couldn't pick a better son-in-law, and Hunter's a fantastic kid. And if I can find 2 more Hunters for my other 2 daughters, I will be a happy man.
I understand that. By the way, there's one word that comes to mind for the dancing part, Coach, that's always helped me. One word.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I am.
Bourbon.
I thought it was going to be don't.
No, bourbon.
I may with my nerves, I may have to take that into consideration.
Let me tell you something. It never hurt you. I guarantee on the dance floor, it never hurt you. Ever.
I know a girl you're married to who probably could find you some. It's not far away.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I know time is valuable. I really appreciate the Christmas tree in the back there. That's a nice touch. But 500 wins, man. You're halfway to 1,000. And on your mark, get set, go. Merry Christmas to you and the family and everybody else. And we'll see you probably at the turn of the year. Appreciate it as always.
All right. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Happy holidays.